Hi.
Hi, how are you doing? Welcome.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I almost messed up our timing. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, it's okay. I live in Arizona, and we don't do the time change here. We don't switch clocks at all. So I'm
Oh,
always messed up with what time it is where at any given moment.
that's yeah, understand. So you don't have this daylight saving in winter in Arizona,
Nope.
you're saying?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm. We don't change
I didn't
clocks here
know
at
that.
all.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
that explains my dilemma. I'm sorry
Oh
though.
yeah. Yeah. And so the time here is it's always, UTC or GMT -7 all year round. That's what
Yeah.
it is for us.
Oh, yeah, you wrote that. I wasn't searching mountain time, and that probably screwed me up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Time is funny, the time difference. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. I'm always messing it up.
I just did. So yeah. By the way, welcome, Kat. It's really nice that you came here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for, asking. I love talking choices, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, and the same thing. I also like, and it's really nice to have people to talk to about choices because I really like choices, and it has become my passion. And when I
Hmm.
talk to others about choices, to know what their first and their love about choices and what they think, so it's really something I really want to hear people say, and so that's really cool. But yeah.
Yeah. Right on. That's cool.
Yeah. So how's everything going? All good?
Uh yeah, it's pretty good, last night was our last stream of It Lives in the Woods, so we finally finished that on my Twitch channel. Which I was kind of nervous about how the ending was going to go, but it worked out.
Of course it did. Yeah, but about that, it was super nice. Yeah, it was. When I read it, I found it really scary. But when you read it, I did not. I found it scary, but it was still like, oh, that voice gives me some confidence, like a nerve story.
Yeah. I really thought that the folks that had like maybe half of their nerve score, I thought they were going to die, and then they weren't. They weren't scared. So it's like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I played all the diamond scenes, but I still didn't get all the nerve scores. But yeah, but they survived. Fortunately, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. So how fun. But that it was a good book. I had never read it, and I said, you know what? I want to start doing choices streams on Twitch.
Mhm.
And a couple of friends said, "Hey, have you played It Lives in the Woods?" And I was like, "No, I have never played it." So they were like, "You should do that one. That would be a good one to do." I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And plus it's a one shot, so it makes it even easier. So you don't have to like keep up with doing say like Royal Romance. It has like what 7 books, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to do a one shot on Twitch than it would be just to do like a full on series.
Yeah, understandable. And also, there's another part. It lives beneath, right?
Yes, and I'll be starting that next week.
Yeah, that also super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard. I've a lot of people that commented said that they liked that one better, but I'll
Yeah.
find out. I've never read it.
Yeah, but I don't know because I read it. It lives. I'm gonna talk about it later in more details when we're gonna talk about this. It lives series. So yeah, but yeah, there's a story. We're gonna talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kat, let's get started. We're going to talk about It Lives and lots of stuff. But first, welcome again. And well, like I ask everyone, I would definitely like to know your insight, like how you got started with choices, like when you got started and what was the first book you played, and how did you know about choices? Like, how did you discover
Okay.
the app? Yeah.
Sure. I was, just I love a good story. I often do story game streaming, and one of my viewers and friends had recommended choices, Didn't tell me about any of the books. Just said, "Hey, there's a story app out there, and it's called Choices, and it has like a bunch of books, and maybe you'll like it." And so I said, "Okay, I'll check it out, because it's free. Why not?" So
Yeah.
after I downloaded the app, the first book that I remember playing was The Freshman, and I love that whole series. you know, but yeah, The Freshman was my first book. So
Yeah, I mean, I have the same. I mean, I found at the time it was 2019, so I first played this Wizard Love Story, and
hmm
it is this one story game app, on Play Store. I found it. I really enjoyed it. And I was searching for other story apps like this. I stumbled across a lot of apps, but none of them were really good. And then finally, I found out Choices. And the first story I played, it was High School Story, and you played the Freshman, yeah. And I think that was super awesome, and that defined Choices for me because I was like, wow, this is really cool. All the characters, love interest and main character, because I had never played anything like that before. So yeah.
right, yeah, I would say like my introduction to playing, interactive novels was through playing Telltale games on the PC. The Walking Dead game and things like that. Um, So just to play it on my phone, it just all it was just a new place to play stories. You know, like you, I got drawn in by the characters and by the overall plot of The Freshman. So that's what I was into, or what I got into. I want to say I started playing maybe in like 2017. I think so, because The Freshman, the whole book was already out by the time
Yeah.
I started playing, but the second one hadn't come out yet.
Mhm. Yeah. Freshman I have played, and I think the Freshman is the only series that has lots of books. Like big books, and then also small one chapter books also with all the love interests, and it's really wholesome.
hmm It is. It is. Yeah, they have what like 10 books, maybe. Including the one shots with the love interest, something like that. They have a lot of books. And for good reason, because all the characters are fantastic, and they really needed to do a lot of books to kind of cover like all of their experience in college. So they really needed a lot of books.
Exactly.
hmm
I mean, I don't know if this book released after High School Story, but or before High School Story, or at the same time of the High School Story, because I wasn't part of the Choices community at that time. But so when did it release? After High School Story or before? Or maybe
that is a good question. I've never read High School Story. I never read it, so I don't know. Let me look real quick. Let's find out. So, book one.
yeah,
It
sure.
came out September 2017. So it would have come out probably about the same time as the second
Yeah.
freshman book.
Exactly, because I feel like High School Story, Choices still has an app called the High School Story. That is the original High School Story, where you have the characters like Julian and stuff. So, and they made a Choices book of that game. So it was really popular. So yeah, I think if this Freshman had released 2 years later, this High School Story released, they would have continued High School guys into college. Probably. I just have this theory. Maybe it would have
Yeah.
been.
I could see that though, that okay, they played them through high school and then transitioned them over into Hartfeld. I could see that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That was,
those characters might actually go to that school. We just don't know.
yeah. It's all up to our imagination.
Yes, and that's the good part. Is that I feel like Pixelberry really does well with leaving. They give you enough information. They give you enough to, you know, they give you enough story, but they also leave it open for people to picture, their own little shoots, offshoots and everything else. So they do really well with that, I think.
Yeah, because that's the motive, right? They can just tell, like, if you're reading the hero book, you can become superhero and stuff. So that you can also become. But if they say like, no, you were like this. If they sort of lay out the whole life of main character, then you wouldn't be able to relate yourself. So just the
Hmm.
main part they say, and then they leave something. It could be your family, or it could be something, like you figure it out. It's your own. You just
Yeah.
you can relate to it more.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I think I like about, say, the way they did my first two loves, or uh,
Exactly.
you know, books like that, where you don't really get a full picture of what their parents are like. It's up to the reader to determine what family they came from. Like Queen Bee, you don't know anything about the main character's parents. You just know that she comes from a small town.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to be like, oh well, you know what, I wonder if her parents were farmers, or if her parents were the mayor, the mayor and first lady of the town, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really up to the imagination, and then that can kind of shape how you're playing the game.
Exactly. And the same thing happened to the nanny affair too. You can have your
Oh
friend,
yeah.
but your family. Yeah. It
Yeah.
you imagine. Yeah. It's more
Yeah, I
relatable.
totally agree.
Hmm. And you play also other various interactive games, right? Like, I mean, other than choices. So, if I ask you this question, what differences do you have you so far found with of choices with other apps, and what similarities, and what is your feeling about all these things? Like, it's really, I know it's hard to compare and say that, oh, this is a top class and this and that, but I am not telling you to say something like that, but say like your overall experience and your thoughts on that. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, through the Instagram community, which I started with the Facebook community for choices, and then transitioned over into Instagram. Um, People, of course, play different story apps. So I know some people play Chapters, some people play Romance Club, um, and I feel like the formulas for these other apps, like the other Chapters, Romance Club, things like that. I feel like they might have modeled themselves after choices. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
had like, okay, this is how this is your main character. You need to pick how they look. You can pick their name, things like that. And I feel like they've chosen the same formulas. um, they're all unique because their book styles are completely different. The books that we see on choices that we love so much, you really don't see all those books in other apps. You just don't. They don't have them there. You know. Um, and I would say a difference between like maybe choices and say Love Link, which I also play,
Hmm.
um, is just that Love Link deals with text messaging, and you're just kind of okay. You get three options, just like in choices, and it shapes how your conversations go. Whereas in choices, you get a full on story. It's like, okay, your main character actually gets to leave the house and go and do stuff and have adventures, and you know and have peril and all that stuff. So they're the same in many ways, but in other ways they're different.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, choices, like I said, I have played different various apps, and some really different, and because they're different, yeah. But
Yeah.
they sort of designed it off of choices, like how it should look like. But I think overall, choices is the only app where you have a whole lot of choices for gender, and
Yes.
also lots of love interest too. Because mainly, I think in chapters you only have just one love interest or two sometimes, but choices is
Yeah.
really diverse. No?
Yeah, they really do give you a choices. They really give you choices. Um, they it's I do like that they've expanded pronouns in the stories, which I think is fantastic. It makes it's they're taking steps to make the game even more inclusive. Like making the covers more diverse, which I have seen in other apps. Making the characters more diverse, and then also adding in the different gender pronouns. It's I think it's a good thing. Where I've seen choices really grow and change just in the past few years that I've been playing it. And in my opinion, I think it's for the better. So
Yeah, I totally share your sentiments there. I was reading an article the other day. Someone said, I don't remember the whole thing, but it sort of goes like this. They said, I searched for lots of apps, not just story apps, other apps, but I didn't quite find an app that represents me well or where I find myself. But until I found out about choices,
hmm
because choices is really diverse, and I thought, oh, I'm not totally non-existent because I do exist in choices. They have thought about me too. So yeah, and they were talking about diversity, like you said. So yeah, it's really super awesome because you want to be part of it.
yeah,
Um, it's not only gender locked, and also with foreign affairs, what they did, sort of expanding to everyone. You can be whoever you want. So I think if they want to go that way in the future with the future books, for instance, the crimes of passion or the zombie book, you'd be
I'm
super
so
awesome.
looking forward to those. I can't wait for the zombie book. Oh man, I'm so excited for that. But yeah, I'm with you on that. That's one of the concerns that I've seen a lot.
Mhm.
Not on Facebook and on Instagram. It's where, especially on Facebook, the folks on Facebook are very, very vocal with pixelary and choices. Um, and a lot of the concern had been about gender locking the main character. And I get it. There are some books that almost require you to have just a single gender. Um, but from a lot of them, a lot of the books, especially more recent titles, um, it doesn't really need to be gender locked. It doesn't have to be, and they can reach more of their audience by allowing people to switch and play whatever gender they want. Because I mean, that's what I do. It's like there's some books that if I can play a male character, I'll do it. And then I'll play it again as a female character just to see what the differences were, or like, are the dialogues different. They only vary a little bit, but it's like it's kind of nice to see. Okay, if you take this route, this is what they'd say. If you take this route, this is what they say. So it's kind of nice to have the option to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I also feel like, there are two sides to this story because it also depends from person to person. It varies definitely from person to person. But also, like you said about recent books, I remember one book, My Two First Loves. It was gender locked, okay?
hmm
But the notion that we had the boy next door and the bad boy, and then Ava, our best friend, so, and their names weren't fixed either. So you
No, they
can
weren't.
change the name. So even if you are a male character, you're playing that book, you can name your the boy next door or whoever you like. Maybe the bad boy, their character as you, and then you can play it. So and the story is quite awesome. So yeah, I think it depends on how the story is, keeping you to the story and the book and how you're
Yeah.
liking it so far. Yeah, I mean, if it is able to keep you on your toes with the storyline.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love it when they throw a curve. I mean, it's it was interesting in, say, My First Two Loves, where where we go to the dance, Ava's having the argument, and then all of a sudden we find out about her feelings, and it's just like, wait a minute, what? It's like, now this just throws a whole curveball into everything. That now it's like, okay, we have three potential love interests here, and now we have to narrow it down. And how do you do that when all those characters were just so awesome? I felt like, I mean, I just used their base names. So Mason, Noah, and Ava. Um, they were all unique. They had different qualities to them, and they were all, I felt, really well written. Because
Yeah,
you really wanted to fall in love really with all of them. I know I did. So.
exactly. Three dimensions with them, sure, why not? Yeah, I like it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. And specifically the way it was written, the first person writing, I really like because it gives added an added poetic touch to the story, and also it's a different, rather than having just a descriptive type description or story, to have a story that's written in first person. It adds another value, I think, to the story. I really
Hmm.
liked it. Or Save the Date, for instance.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like when it's in first person, you almost put you even more so put yourself in the story because it's like it's me, you
Yeah.
know, and it's not so much okay. Well, I'm reading about say Riley from Royal Romance. It's like I'm not reading about Riley. I am Riley, and with my first two loves. So I did like the first person switch. That was a good call, a really good call, especially for that story because it really played a lot like almost like a diary or a memoir of the time in school. So yeah,
Exactly. I mean, when I was halfway through the book, or I just started, I was thinking maybe when this book will end, we will find out maybe the main character was writing this whole all those things in a diary, and
yeah,
finishes it. And when she finished it, we'll see it was a long time ago, maybe 5 years ago. And now she is happily married with one of the love interests of her choice that we will choose. Something like that will happen. It was almost like that at the end, but it was just
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I could totally see that too. And yeah, that was kind of how I felt. Like it was like we were looking at. I mean, it was us, but we were kind of looking at the past. It was like
Yeah.
it's a memory. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, maybe we were writing it, or maybe we're just watching, thinking about our. Maybe we were about to get married with the love of our life, and we were thinking about all those things, or we're maybe telling about someone, or maybe we could have been telling this to our child. It could be
Hmm.
the case.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, it's kind of like How I Met Your Mother, or How I Met Your Father.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, that story would have been pretty embarrassing, specifically if you want to raise a child, Oh wow, then
Yes.
I get my free certificate and ticket, right, Mom?
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. By the way, I can't not ask this question. So, who did you choose at the end, and who did you like the most in the My to First Loves book?
I chose Mason. Um,
Oh yes.
yeah, I chose Mason. I felt like he had a lot of growth in the story. And honestly, I mean, I liked his character anyway, but
Yeah.
I mostly chose him because a lot of people weren't. Everybody would
Can
just,
tell
oh
you.
Noah, oh my God, Noah, and it's like, okay, I'm switching. I'm going for Mason. That's it. Now,
Yeah.
if I had knew in the beginning that Ava was going to be a choice, I might have picked her. But it just I didn't feel like we really developed the romance with her until like
Exactly.
really towards the end. That's just my
Exactly.
opinion. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it was distract for me at the very first moment when the first chapter starts with the boy next door, and
hmm,
then the music that plays in the background, specifically when the MC is romancing the boy
yeah,
next door, everything.
yeah,
It's just that's the gavel for me, gavel down. I mean, I
yeah.
the first moment.
So you chose Ava in the end?
No, no, no. I always. I mean, I told you it was Mason, the boy
You
next
chose
door, and I
Mason
ended
too.
up with it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked his character and the
I did
way. I
too.
mean,
I
yeah,
did too. He was going through a lot.
yeah,
He's finding out about his father, and he's dealing with those issues. He's dealing with the issues with his mom. You
yeah.
know,
And
um,
specifically,
yeah,
M's sweet little bond with Mason throughout their childhood. They have been with each other for so long, and probably they have loved each other without knowing it. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. And that was how I played it. Was just that, you know, they just didn't know how to tell each other, hey, you know what, I love you, and let's try to make this work. Just didn't know how to say it out loud, you know.
Yeah, so I thought it was really sweet, and I knew that Mason's gonna be my man for the whole book, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed the 100 chapters.
Wow. I know that was like super ambitious. That was a lot of work to come up with 100 chapters. Um and busting out a daily schedule, that was just like, wow. I couldn't even imagine having to try to do that, and make sure that you have decent art and make sure that your music is good. Kudos to them for pulling that off. um
Yeah.
Honestly, I, I don't think we're going to see another book like that. Um, and not just the storyline, but that they're going to do dailies. I would be very, very surprised if they decide to do that again.
I agree with that. I mean, I don't think if I would have to join the Choices community maybe 2 years later from now, and if I would have found out, well, there's a book with 100 chapters, I wouldn't have probably, initiated to read the book. But as if this book was releasing day to day basis on a daily day to day basis, and I thought, well, let's play. So yeah, you're right. It was really hard to play every day. So I played maybe 2 chapters one day, or after 4 days I played 4 chapters. But yeah,
Hmm.
it was easy to keep up with this. But if you just new to Choices and you have just come into the Choices community and you're seeing, wow, there's a book with 100 chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially if you're coming in as a person who doesn't have a VIP account. 100 chapters is
exactly.
pretty daunting. It's going to take you a long time to get to that, or to get through it. For those of us who are already in the app, at least from my perspective, I liked that they had the daily chapters because it gave us something to read in between the major books. So that was kind of nice. It kept me logging into the app because it's like, oh wait, I have to see what happens next. I have to see what happens next, and oh wait, there's the next book that's coming out on Wednesday. Let's go ahead and read that too.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like, sometimes when they release weekly books, what happens, you read the chapter this week, and by next week, you sort of forget, oh, wow, so that happened, right? So your memory
Yeah,
is still, distant.
yeah.
But with daily book, you're like, all right, so I'm excited for tomorrow. Even I can tell you, some chapters were so interesting, so awesome that I was even unable to wait for the next day to read the next chapter of My First Loves. Yeah.
They did really well with that. I liked a lot of the trouble that they got into. I mean, not that I was getting in that kind of trouble in high school, but I could relate.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there, but we can relate. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's the point of Choices, virtually living in those situations.
Yeah, because I mean, you get to be different kinds of people in choices. Like now you get to be a lawyer, you get to be a chef. You can be the queen
Yeah,
of a kingdom if that's what you want, or a duchess in a kingdom. You know,
yeah,
they give you so many options, and I love that. That's one of the things that I really love about choices is that uh, the characters are really well rounded, and they give you enough with the different genres that you will find something that interests you. you know it's like, okay, if
exactly.
you're looking for something a little less romance, okay, they have books for that. But if you're looking for something with a little more romance, they have that too. So they do really try to cater to, in my opinion, obviously, they do try to cater to different interests.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Amazon. You have everything there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
All genres, all professions, everything. Yeah, and maybe we need some, sports profession or some other. But yeah, we'll get that with time, I guess.
Yeah, because I saw somebody had posted something like that on Facebook about, that they would love to see, maybe some type of sports book or something. I was like, you know what? I think that would be fun. Maybe getting to be a manager of a team, or you're
Professional.
playing on the team, or you know, You fall in
Yeah.
love with an athlete, something, you know.
Or maybe we can be a NFL star, and our
Yeah,
struggle will be shown. It'll be super awesome. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Winning Super Bowl. It's fun.
That would be cool, you know. And something I would also love is that, I mean, I know that, you know, we most of our gender locked books are female main characters. I would love to see, and I you know, a gender locked book where it's that the character's male. I think that would be really cool too, and that would also help with a lot of, you know, the folks that are like, hey, why, you know, I can't play a guy, but I really wanted to, you know, and stuff like that. So it would be kind of fun just to see what they would do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is going to happen in choices because I don't know
Mm-mm.
why, but I feel like it's always because even in the gender customizable books, if you look at the love interests, except Heist Monaco, all love interests are mainly they assume like, all right, you are probably gender locked, you're a girl, and they're probably gonna date a boy. So let's give you Ethan Ramsey. Let's give you a hard boss. Let's give you a hard this. So yeah,
Hmm.
so it directs you toward that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see that.
That one thing we would like to get over. Okay, so do you have VIP now?
I do.
Wow. So slow burn. Are you reading this book?
I started to read Slow Burn. I know this is going to sound absolutely horrible, but I am not caught up with all the with all the VIP stuff, just because they've given us so much to read. I'm still working my way through Foreign Affairs. I think I'm on like chapter 14. I did not start Laws of Attraction, um, but I do like that they give the VIP members the option to play books first. It's a good way to kind of beta test stuff before they put it out to the general. Um, my I would say my favorite VIP book, and it's not Wolf Bride, even though I love Wolf Bride. It's not. It's a very scandalous proposal, and I'm so excited that they're going to actually give that to everybody. I thought
Yeah.
that was such a great book.
Actually, they were supposed to release this 2 or 3 weeks ago, but because of some technical difficulties or technical issues, they stopped the release, and now they don't know when they're going to release it again. So yeah, we'll have to just look, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so I hope that they're able to get those squared away, and let the general populace play it. I think they'll love it. I know I did. I fell in love with that book.
Yeah. Did you play the book, VIP book, Royal? No, no, not Royal. Uh, um, the Air book, something.
Oh, the unexpected eras.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the Unexpected Airs. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. I got maybe about 5 chapters in, and it just hasn't grabbed me yet. And I think it's because I was reading, or I was reading way too many books at the same time, so it was kind of hard to like remember what I was doing in that book, because when you're part of a community, everybody's talking about all the books. So it's like, okay, you're trying to keep up with every book that everybody's talking about. And it gets so hard to do that. There's just so many books. So I had to kind of step back a little bit and say, okay, look, I'm going to do like 2 books and that's it. you know? So, so right now I'm just kind of working my way. Well, I worked my way through, It Lives, and then I am working my way through Foreign Affairs. So, and I am kind of keeping up with Baby Bump. I have not read it since it's come back.
Wow,
So,
same. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, slow but steady. I don't know, man. You said I don't know. Tell me if you're a mind reader or not, because I chose Mason too. I didn't play Baby Bum since it came back from hiatus. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know either what's going on. Um, I did like the first book, and I've talked about this with other folks on in the community, but I feel like with the second book, there was just way too much focus on the office like not the office but the city politics, and not
Yeah.
so much on developing the relationships between the LIs. um
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my I went with the main the character that you basically you're the father of your child. Uh,
Prince,
I
right?
named him James, but I know that's not the character's name. Um,
Yeah, Sam Covington. Yeah.
yes, Mr. Covington. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I felt like we haven't really gotten to know him. Um, and I was also a little bit shocked with the way that they've made the mayor behave. Um, Especially during the the childbirthing classes. There was that one moment when the mayor was just having a complete tantrum at the class, and that really kind of shocked me. I was surprised that they had that character acting like that. It's like I knew he was, he or she, depending on which gender you're playing your mayor, was a hard case. I totally knew that, but not to where they were just going to just completely snap, you know, and just act out like that in public. Um, so it really turned me off from Myra or Miles. It turned me away from them. You know.
Yeah, yeah. They took their, their personal, not personal, their office problem stress on that childbirth class, on someone
Mhm.
on the childbirth class. That was,
Mhm.
yeah. And I don't know if I'm wrong or not, but I have this hunch that, like you said, the more political thing, they added more politics and this. I think it could be because when the book came, because I think it was a time of election and the things happening around it. So it could be that,
Oh
they
yeah,
they
that makes sense.
yeah, and lots of references to what was that guy? The antagonist character.
Oh,
I'm forgetting.
Craig.
Craig.
Oh, Craig. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the way he
Ah,
talks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so it could be some reference.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that makes some sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Babylon book, I personally liked it, I think, because I really liked this. I personally like the small town thing, because I first played the Big Sky Country book and I fell in love with this book because the
Oh, Big
music,
Sky Country. Yes.
you liked it, right?
Oh yeah, that book is so underrated. I'm very surprised that more people haven't read it than,
Yeah.
at least I haven't noticed that a lot of people have read it. So,
Yeah.
um but it is very underrated. I loved, like, the conflict between the two ranches. I loved all of the
Mhm.
LIs. They were fantastic. Um, you know, but of course, I had to choose the cowboy. I had to.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was really super awesome, but I think I found Juliet. I was really who to choose because there was Juliet, there was Asha, I guess, Ron Horst, but again, Sawyer was super fun. And I think if you ask me personally, my personal opinion, this is the most complete book in choices. This is the most developed books because every character, be it Asha, they got their due in the second chapter mainly, be it Juliet, their character development we see, Sawyer, he's sort of the main, but again, he's not the main. Everyone gets, um, every single character, every single love interest gets their time, they get equal time, and specifically Dallas, the way they wrapped it up in the
Oh
first book,
yeah.
we see some part in the second book. We can end it once and for all. We can save him from the bounty hunter, and we can end the false case that was filed against him. So it was
Yeah.
super super awesome book.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, there are they have many books that have multiple love interests. Of course we got, Royal Romance,
Yeah.
Desire and Decorum, which those are two of my top like five books. you know. Um and in those books, I don't I felt like they almost kind of nudged you in a one or direction or the other about, like, oh, you should probably be with the prince, like in the Royal Romance.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like in Big Sky Country that they had like predetermined who your love interest is going to be. They actually really gave the player the choice to say, all right, spend some time with this person, see if you like them, spend some time with that person, and then figure it out. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they really pushed you in any one direction for who to like. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I
Hmm.
mean, I totally agree with you. You know, hogging screen time is a big problem in lots of books. Specifically, one character like Nightbound. We have multiple love interests, but Nick is like he gets all the time, so it's a problem. But in this book, like you said, I have seen all the characters they get equal time, and specifically, it's not the time. It's not about just the dimensions, but the story. They have equal story. You know, Sawyer, his nemesis Dick. Then there's some rodeo competition. By the way,
Hmm.
which I absolutely love about this book.
That was
And
so fun. Yeah.
Julia, yeah, Julia's brother. Sorry, Juliet and Juliet's brother. Then Asha and the mayor election there. Then
Yeah.
with Thomas, like I said, so it was an awesome book.
Yeah. So, it wasn't just, focused solely on the main character and finding romance. You
Yeah,
did. You did find romance, but it wasn't like the main focus. And that was something I think that's one thing I also think the Choices does really well is that they can balance story and romance at the same time. You know, um, yeah, Big Sky Country definitely is a really good example of how they do that.
and it's really underrated. And I think good things are really underrated because my favorite show, Gardner Gibbons' Life on Normal Street, it's really underrated. So yeah, good things are underrated. It's a must. If it's a good thing, it has to be underrated because it is what it is. It's really common.
Yeah, yeah, and it's hard when those those fan darlings don't get more than what we've gotten. You know what I mean? And I've seen that happen, and I know folks get upset. Especially when they had cancellations of sequels and things like that.
Yeah,
Um, but we have to really appreciate just what we've gotten, um, and just love the book for what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Sky Country. I played it after playing lots of books, but it sort of hooked me up with the story. Like I said, I really like this Big Sky. The countryside, there's narratives and there's rodeo games and stuff. The language, the way they were speaking and stuff, and
Hmm.
then all the things rodeo and county fair. Then those country fairs and then everything. It was a wholesome experience. The music, the background music. I
Oh,
would play.
so
I would just
good.
close my eyes. And I would feel like I'm really sitting on some countryside porch and just sipping my apple cider or something. It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I could totally see that.
The choices of
I'm with
music
you.
is awesome. Yeah,
Oh, the music is fantastic, and that was actually something that I had talked about during my Twitch streams. If it lives, is that
yeah,
the music really sets the tone. It's just like that in a video game. When you get like a really sweeping story video game, that the music also is like a character in the book. Um, and especially with It Lives, I noticed that when things were about to get really scary, that music got real big real quick, and or it got
yeah,
really spooky.
yeah,
It's like, yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
they did
choices.
so great with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The music you talk about that goes like like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Josh has uploaded this on YouTube, and I was going through the comment section. I was scrolling through the comment section. One person commented, "Well, the beat dropped harder than Lucas's focus pill."
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, leave it to the YouTube comment section to make it fun. I do watch TED videos, but more than the TED videos, the comment section makes me laugh. They said
That's
Hamlet was
great.
a procrastinator.
Oh my gosh, that's that's good. Oh my gosh, I love it. But I can't say enough good things, at least about like about the soundtracks for sure. Um, I when I talked about it, I was, It Lives, definitely they just killed it with the way that they use the music in that
Yeah.
book. I also felt like the music in, say, Royal Romance really set the tone for the book and kind of gave you a very, dreamy atmosphere. Um, they just do super well with the soundtracks. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, sure. That is exactly the case, and it's super awesome.
Yeah.
They even have critics say that only if Choice's stories were as good as their music is. So I would say this
Oh,
is a
jeez.
really great, I wouldn't say it's a negative comment, but it's a very positive comment because music is everything. It can really hook you up to the story even if it's not that interesting.
Yeah, and the art does the same thing because especially when you look at the creativity of the folks in the Instagram community,
Oh wow.
you y- y- we have the art in the Choices books obviously is enough for people to imagine that these folks are real. That they've given such a great picture of the characters in these books that
Yeah.
you can imagine them out in the real world. They
Exactly.
really give them life, and that's really I mean, for me, as a story fan, as an avid book reader, that's all I want, is to be able to take myself out of my day-to-day life and really picture in my head what these people look like.
Yeah.
The question came up. I was asked, like, how did I come up with the voices for the characters in for It Lives, and when I was doing my Twitch stream, and it's like, you know what? All I did was I looked at the characters and thought, this is probably what they sound like. You know, because they give you a look, they give you enough to really between the dialogue, the music, and the way that the characters look, to come up with a really full picture of what they're like. You know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, a guy who looks like who has a crappy face, how he's gonna talk, and a guy who looks gentle, how he's gonna talk. Yeah,
Hmm.
that really gives you an example, and you sort of assume how they're gonna talk, and you have the when you're reading their language also. So yeah, it's
Hmm.
both the things are important. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And about that, I want to say one thing. Yeah, artwork. It's super awesome. I don't know what is it called, but when they show just the up close picture of just with your love interest or your main character or someone, that is, I feel like the way they show that. Uh, they look really different than how they look normally. Like they
Hmm.
showed, I don't know, like Ethan in the first chapter or others. Really up close. When you had this you went to the opening party of Edinburgh. So how normally they look, their character, it's different than that. I mean, how they looked in there. I don't know what is it called, but they look when they show those characters up close. Like a special artwork.
Yeah. I forget what they call it. But I get what you're saying, that of course the characters that we see, the sprites that we see in the normal chapters versus
Yeah,
the big art
yeah.
shots.
Not the face,
They do
the
look
face
different.
with the dialogues that I'm not talking about that, but like you said, yeah. But like sometimes they show a special artwork, yeah,
Hmm.
of those characters, yeah.
Yeah, because I felt like the art shots in Wolf Bride really were just phenomenal. When you catch the glimpse of Bastion at the fire pit, that first look, and you're just like, wow, this person is powerful. You know, just the
Yeah,
way he looked, and he was very very upright, and just kind of like just his look was so intense. Man, that was easily one of the best art pieces that I've
yeah.
seen
He ain't
in the
messing
Choices
around.
books. Yeah. Yeah, like, you do not mess with this guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know so
yeah.
yeah, they killed it with that. um
Mm. Yeah, it's a. I have seen this with almost every this kind of scenes, special artworks, it really stands out than the normal, artwork or the normal photo of that character we see with the dialogue. So it's really super awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, so you played It Lives Beneath. We talked, no, It Lives in the Woods, sorry.
Yes.
Best of luck with It Lives Beneath. You're going to absolutely like it. And you're also going to scream, whoa, yeah, It Lives Beneath is my favorite. The first book was really awesome. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to reading it. I have zero ideas really as to what it's about. I read like the synopsis for the first chapter, but of course, it's so much bigger than the two lines that they give you, for the
Of
teaser,
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So, you played It Lives. By the way, before I started It Lives, you played Freshman, right?
I did.
Yeah, and in Freshman you have Prom and Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
Now this question. So, have you ever been to Prom or Homecoming in your personal life?
Oh, yes.
So,
I never went to any of the homecoming dances, but I did go to my senior prom.
Prom.
And it was a lot of fun. They had it on a cruise ship basically. Um,
Woo!
yeah, it wasn't on a cruise, but there is I grew up in California, and there's a ship that is docked in Long Beach called the Queen Mary. It is a ship that's been basically decommissioned and it's dry docked, so it doesn't go anywhere. And it's a hotel. It's a hotel. It's a ballroom. It's a working facility. So they had our prom there, and it was amazing to be on this ship looking out at the ocean, even though it's not moving. you know, Even though the boat's not moving, and it just it was historical, and it gave you like a really kind of almost like a royal feel, even though we were just high school students, So yeah, but yeah, I had great memories of prom. My date was one of my best friends from high school, so
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean that almost sounds like one of the stories from the Choices app.
yeah. Yes, and when I read my first two loves, I really put myself in that character's shoes because I thought about what I was like in high school, and I had multiple crushes too. Um,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah, yeah, it was easy just to kind of slide back into that mindset. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Mighty First Steps. It resembles the movie. What is it called? To All the Boys That I've Loved Before. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's really awesome how they put. But yeah, I mean when they like at the moment when the MC was really forced to choose one, that moment is scary, man.
Yeah, because I was sitting there thinking like, wow, we're gonna have to pick one. We knew we would have to pick one,
Mm.
and it's like, but I don't want to hurt the feelings of the other two. You know, I felt so bad because it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it's like, here I am telling Noah, sorry, I picked Mason,
Mm.
and the way he come, he didn't take it horribly or something like that. They all take it very well, take it better than I would expect, but his face just looked so sad, or Ava saying, hey, you led me on, this was not right,
More. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, I felt
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually got emotional. I don't cry at too many books, but I really got teary having to have those chats with Noah and Ava. I felt bad. I really felt bad.
Yeah, I was like, well, we could have just continued with both, all of the three LIs for 100 more chapters, maybe.
Like, do we have to
Yeah,
choose?
yeah, yeah. I mean, you have been given three ice creams. All the three flavors are your favorite, and you're told to choose, like, let's choose a flavor. And it's not just instant flavor, but you have really worked hard to collect all the three ice creams. And it's not like any random three people you just meet on street. But the MC said that also to both, like, look, what we had, it was a really good confession, I think. And it's not like MC just dumped them and never looked back, but they had a conversation. Like, what we had was real, but I think Mason is the guy, or the other person is the guy or girl. So yeah, that was really
Yeah.
super awesome how they worked on it. I really liked it.
Yeah, because it wasn't just all right. You're dropping them and that's it. There was really some thought and feeling behind why they didn't get picked. It's like, it's not that you're bad. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that I don't like you. It's just I think that the person that I chose is more for me than us.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
just prefer to be friends with you, and that's it. You know,
yeah.
so yeah, it's like,
And
yeah, it was intense. I was very surprised.
yeah, I mean, no, it's a really common. It can happen. Like, you never know it. You just fall for, maybe two or three. Three is really hard sometimes, but at least two, for two people, two persons at the same time, and then you have to choose one. So yeah, it's a really good problem, and they faced it quite well. They finished it well in the story. So yeah, kudos to them.
Hmm. Yes.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So the question I was going to ask. So, how would you like to say? What are the differences between the depiction of prom in the Joyce's books, and the way the way prom really is in real life?
Oh gosh. um. You
Yeah. You're in
know.
the hot seat. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh my gosh, because now I have to remember that was a long time ago. So, um,
All the juicy details, huh?
yeah, no, it was funny because
Funny.
yeah, because the way, like, I ended up asking my friend to go with me to
What did you
prom.
do? How did you ask?
Oh my
I mean,
gosh. Okay, so this is what happened. I was at one of my best girlfriend's house, and she was just like, "Oh, you want to go with this guy, uh, and he was one of my dear friends, and
mhm,
I didn't know how to ask him. I knew I wanted him to go. I wanted to go with him. I just didn't know how to ask. So she was like,
mhm,
"Just call him. Get on the phone." So I'm like, "Okay, okay, I'll call him." So I call him on the phone, and I said, I have something that I want to ask you, and you can't say no. So he was like, "What?" Like, you know. And so I was like, will you go to prom with me? And he said, I wouldn't have said no, but it's funny that you told me that you were going to ask me something and I can't say no. Yeah.
oh my god! I mean, this is like the pickup lines. You have, like, hey, like, one person asks the other person, hey, can I kiss you? No. Okay, then return me if you don't like it.
Yes, it was funny. He's like, I
This
would
is
have said
awesome
yes
stuff.
anyway, but okay.
I'm gonna steal that line, by the way.
Yeah.
I think there's something that you can't say no to.
The offer you can't refuse, like the Godfather.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and I got
Yeah.
to go with my friends. So it was very similar, almost similar to my first two loves, where you got to be with all of your friends,
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Take it or take it. There's no leaving it.
No, no. No, there was not. I think I probably would have passed out if he had said no.
that would have been super bad. Yeah. But
Oh,
well, that ends well.
yes, yeah, he it was a lot of fun. He was very nice. We ended up losing touch, unfortunately, after high school, but we were really good friends, and it was fun to go and just hang out with my friend with no expectations of, oh man, we might have to kiss, or oh, this might happen.
Yeah,
There was nothing like that.
yeah. I completely see that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I mean, and how did you pick the dress? I mean, the way in choices they say you go for dress, you can see your partner's dress, and all the friends together go to pick up a dress, and they
Oh
get dressed
yeah.
up in their friend's house. So, how
Oh
real?
yeah. I remember my dress, I had it made, and there was one like basically tuxedo rental and dress shop in my area. I grew up in a small town, so there was just one. So the day that I went to go pick out what I wanted for my dress, because I was having it made, almost every girl at my school was there. Picking out their dresses, picking out shoes. There were guys there renting tuxes, and it was a madhouse in there. I don't know how those folks even kept up with all of us, all these kids running around the store. Seriously. I don't know how they did it, but they did. They handled all of us like champs. you know. But yeah, it was not as calm an experience as it was in the book. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I totally see that. I mean,
Mm.
I'm glad that you had a nice time back in the day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was
Did
fun.
you participate in any school activities, right, like sports or cheerleading or band, school spirit?
Um
Did you,
no, I mean, well, I would go to, football games every once in a while, but no, I didn't do really any of the your typical extracurriculars, doing, cheer or something like that. I was in a computer club, I did that. And then I was also into flowers, and they had basically a floral design club where you could create bouquets and all that stuff and learn about plants. And so that's what I did. I was a complete nerd in high school. you know, when I wasn't partying on the weekend. So at school, I was a lot more reserved than I was on the weekend. You know.
that's super cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean that resembles Choice's books a lot. Wow.
Yes. Yeah. You have your your teachers that are a little bit wacky, and the ones that are just a lot more tough. And so a lot of that I could relate to. I could relate to it.
And who used to win the homecoming queen, prom queen and prom king? The big.
I I don't remember who it was. I honestly don't. We I know we had them, but I just don't remember. I know they were popular kids, and generally the folks that were the most popular were, the cheerleaders and the athletes. So
Yeah,
it was probably one of them. I just don't remember.
yeah, that's true. Um, it was really fun. I mean, your voice, your excitement tells me that you had a fun time.
Oh
Though you
yeah, it was a
didn't
blast.
go home like our MC, but you had a fun time.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it was a good time. It was something that I was glad I got to experience it.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked a lot about fun times. Now let's get scared a bit, right? Shall
Oh
we?
yes. Let's do it.
I mean, we're gonna talk about It Lives in the Woods. You just played it. It's still fresh in your memory. I played it a
Yes.
long time ago, but yeah. One thing about It Lives in the Woods, because I played. I mean, I haven't played, but I don't watch horror movies much because it's really scary. So I was skeptical before reading this book. I thought maybe it would be super scary. So I hadn't read it until this last year, September or something. But then I started reading it, and I'll get hooked up to it. Like, wow, this is not really scary something, because I think the point is here you get to play yourself, and it's really interesting. Like, wow, what's happening? And the way they designed it, it was scary, but
Yes.
also balance of friends and stuff and everything. It was super awesome. So first of all, your thoughts on that? You just played it. How did you like it?
I loved it. I really felt like they balanced the, the not scary stuff with the scary. Um, that first chapter where you get hit with the art shot. Woo! The dirt monster. Oh my gosh, I was freaking
Oh,
out. Oh my
I
goodness, I could
closed
not
my
handle it.
eyes.
And for me it's like I have an app that allows me to play I have a program on my computer that allows me to play phone apps on my computer. So uh I got to see it in like on my big screen. So I was just like, what the heck? Like, oh my gosh, what is that? I was really freaking out. It was good. And I'm not easily scared. I'm not easily scared by stuff like that, like stories or movies or any of that. But that genuinely freaked me out. That the spiders in the gym. Oh man, my skin itched for days after that.
Who knows?
Thinking about
Maybe
those.
that's the transition period to Spider-Man. To become Spider-Man. Who knows?
Oh man, I guess I could have thought of it that way. It would have made it a little less freaky. But man,
Yeah.
the spiders everywhere. Oh gosh, yeah, I couldn't handle it. I
Yeah,
could not handle it.
whatever you fear, you're gonna be, they exploit your fear and may try to scare you more. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
and
what I liked about
but
it.
I also like that they had fun things to balance it out. So you got to do the school stuff and and have the conflict with the cheerleaders and the cool kids and and
Yeah, the
everything. And
bully.
yeah, the bullies, um and then the party at Brittany's house, that was fun. you
Yeah.
know yeah,
So,
so they were great.
mhm, yeah. As a love interest, who'd you like and who'd you choose? I mean, who'd you like? Yeah.
I chose Andy.
Uh huh.
Yeah. I looked at and and that's funny because in the stream when I finally made the choice for who the love interest is going to be at the party, uh, there were people that really wanted me to choose Ava, and I said, I'm not doing it. It's not because it's not because I don't like her or any of those things. It's just I had always heard a lot of the people that I talked to about It Lives chose her as their love interest. So I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm going in a completely different direction and
Yeah.
I'm going to pick someone
Contrarian.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like Andy was a great choice for the MC. Um, he is very brave. He is very selfless. He'll stand up for his friends, and the MC does that too. The MC stands up for
Yeah.
her friends. She's
Yeah.
brave and
Mhm.
bold, just like Andy is. And so I thought Andy was the perfect choice for the MC the way I was playing her.
Exactly. I chose. I don't think I should say like choosing because correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't get much, intimate scene or much time with Li because it's just and really we go to dance with one, but it's really not. It's not like we get a huge some scene with them, right? In this book.
Right. Yeah, it's like you get maybe a couple scenes where you get to kiss them.
Yeah.
There's a couple of dates, maybe like little stuff, like before homecoming, you got a little bit of a date there. And you kind of got a little bit of a date ish at the party because you got to spend time with your Li alone at the party. But the story's focus wasn't romance. It was just like in a movie where it's just a consequence of being around people. It's like, all right, there's going to be people that you click with on a higher level than just friendship, and it was being with Andy was just a consequence of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, or any of the LIs for that matter. It could have been any one of them, and it was just because you had that close relationship with them, and so you ended up taking it further. you know
Mhm.
Yeah. But no, I thought they were very sweet. The little scenes that you got with your love interest in the book was just really, really adorable. You know, the cute little text between, MC and Andy were just adorable. The little kiss between, Andy and her, um, or the dinner date before homecoming, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it was what I thought a high school story should be. Um, it doesn't have to be hot and heavy for it to be a high school story, you know. So
But would you have liked? I'm not talking about like more intimate scene, but would you have liked maybe a little bit more time, maybe a big diamond scene to get to know about them before the big fight, or to just talk with them? Just to spend more time and uh, talking about each other's feelings, toward each
yeah.
other. So would you like that more?
Um I thought the pacing was really good. I felt that you got to know who those characters were, especially through the flashbacks. That was part of why I chose Andy, you know. Um and I had chose Andy before we found out he was trans, you
Yeah,
know. Um and it was just like, wow, this character is he's fun and he's, just really tough. And, it's like everybody likes him. He was just a natural choice, and you got to see what Andy was like as a kid. And saw that the same qualities that Andy has as a teenager was exactly just like he was as a kid, you know. So there wasn't much, that you learned a lot already. You didn't need to have, in my opinion, you didn't need to have more time with them in the present because you saw a lot of who they were and what they would become in the past.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's right. One more question to you, since you played it. I don't know if it came up in the Twitch chat or not, but from what I've heard, a lot of people would have liked it if Noah was a love interest. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would have liked that. And, it would have made. Sorry, I had to
Yeah,
scratch my head real quick. Move my mic. I think the
yeah,
final decision, if Noah had been a love interest, would have been very, very hard. It would have made it really difficult. I don't want to spoil, but yeah, it would have made the final battle difficult, really difficult if he had been a love interest. But I did like him, and if he had been an option, I would have picked Noah. I would have picked Noah. I liked him a lot.
how fast the night changes. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, I liked him a lot, but he just was not an option. So I was like, okay, well, Andy, it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
My friends were they were like, you better not go with Lucas. They did not like Lucas at all. Nobody liked Lucas, and I felt so bad about that because he was kind of a fun character.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think maybe people don't like nerd type.
And I like the geeky guys. It's like I'm married to a geeky guy. you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. By the way, so if I tell you to rate this in terms of horror in it, in terms of moment of fear in it, so what out of 10? How much would you rate it in terms of fear or horror element in this book?
Um. That's a good question. Hmm. I would definitely put it. I would say between like a 7 and an 8. Um. Is it like super super scary? It can be. Um. But they balanced it enough to where it wasn't completely all spooks the whole time. Um.
Mhm.
They really spaced out the freaky stuff in between. So yeah, I'd say it's about a 8 book. you know
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. Agree with you. And you liked the nerf score system?
I did. I thought that was kind of cool. I also liked that it didn't necessarily require you to use diamonds in order to keep that score up. Flip that, with say Queen Bee, where you really kind of had to spend diamonds to get your score up.
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly.
I did like that you didn't really have to spend very much to play the game and actually get some enjoyment out of it.
That's true. One really, I mean, out of the context question, or maybe it is in the context, but I don't know if you remember or not, but when you were reading it, yeah, there was one sentence that you paused and read it twice. And you said something I forgot completely. What was it about? Like you tap one dinosaur, then it lays egg. Then you tap another dinosaur, it lays egg. What game?
Oh yeah, yes. Oh man, there's an app called it's like merge eggs or merge dragons or something like that. And there's an app that you do that with. Yeah, it was just so funny that this book came out. I don't even know when it came out, but that game was mentioned.
Yeah,
Very timely, I would say.
yeah. When you
Yeah.
pause and read it twice, oh, that first like what? Is he reading the dinosaur egg? And then no, he is. So you were thinking the game. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, what? I like how Pixelberry will kind of throw in some of the pop culture references or things from today to kind of
yeah,
spice up the story a little bit, just to let you know, hey, it's still in current time. It's still modern.
yeah, exactly. That was super. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I was,
sometimes I ended up reading stuff twice because I got distracted by chat, so I ended up reading it again, and I was like, oh wait, I just read that. you know.
yeah. So there I was like, I didn't understand quite the at the point you read it, but I was like, wait, I didn't quite get the name of the game that you said. I was like, wait, is she reading it twice because she didn't get it? What about what is this all fuss about laying eggs by dinosaurs?
Oh, yes, yeah. I was trying to remember like what the name of the game was, and so I had to read it a couple times to kind of you know give me a second to remember what that game was.
Exactly.
hmm
So on the this Jen thing, like how Jen died and this thing. Um, so what was your thought? How did you feel when you found like it was no Redcliffe, but it was Jen all along?
Oh man, I was shocked. I was so shocked. I thought that the misdirect with the letters was perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it was good. That was a very much a gotcha moment, where you're at the end and it's like, haha, you thought it was this, but nope, it's that. you know. Yeah, so it was very surprising. Um yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was really surprising and kind of tragic also because Jen was our best friend by the look of it.
Yeah. Oh, that was
She taught
that
us
was
a
so
lot.
sad. Yeah.
That really was, you know.
Yeah, cuz it was just like, all right, we know that there was this very tragic event that had happened when you were kids, and the MC is still holding guilt from that. So is Noah. You know, um, and I think when she saw that it was Jane in the shadow body, that it brought all of that back. It was just like, wait a minute, wow, you know that that here's her best friend, and her best friend has not rested. She has no rest. You know, she's in kind of a limbo state.
Yeah,
And yeah, so it's like I'm sure that had to throw MC off big time. It was just like, you know what, wow. here I am. I'm trying to make peace with what happened, and you've had none. Talking about Jane.
Yeah. Like she was living in a literal hell, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck
Mm-hmm.
in there waiting for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one turning point. And what do you think about? I mean, I didn't quite like this incident happened with Jen. Then Noah, he had his own trouble. I think once Noah's mom said, "Well, maybe it would have been better if I had lost you that day instead of um,
Oh,
Jen, who was really probably nicer than you at least." And then how the group broke apart. So
yeah.
I don't quite understand. Maybe one guy commented a long time ago, like, why would they break apart? Like, do you think like maybe yeah, it was hard? I can see maybe they wouldn't. They thought probably if we break apart, we don't see each other because we were present there, then we
Hmm.
wouldn't probably think about it much. It's sort of like if you have a something like if you break a glass in front of your TV, then you want to forget this incident, then you maybe wouldn't go in front of your TV because you wouldn't remember the incident. I mean, I don't know, but that could be a theory. What do you think?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one.
Yeah, take your sweet time.
Okay, so ask me the end of it just again, so I can understand. Make sure I understand the question right.
Okay, so sorry, I am really bad at asking questions. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh no, it's okay. No, I'm just making sure that I'm
sure.
processing it right.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So the thing is that the way the friends group broke apart after the incident with Jen, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So my point is that do you think that what do you think about this? Like they broke apart just because the incident happened. Like what would they break apart? It was really they wanted to forget the incident by breaking apart. So like why? Because they said like we haven't seen each other for a long time. They still look
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. Sometimes there are events that are just so traumatic that you can't even you can't even verbalize that. And you have all of these friends who are maybe trying to deal with stuff in their own way. Not only did they have the traumatic incident to deal with, but they also have their home life stuff to deal with. You got
Yeah.
Noah, who's dealing with the mother basically wishing he was dead instead, and it was just like, okay, I don't think, man, that when the mother said that, I was floored. I could not. It was so shocking to me. And then she tried to walk it back, and I could see that happened. Like I know that this happens in real life. You know that there's kids who their parents say something and they don't mean it, but they say it because
Yeah.
they're angry. you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so Noah, I'm sure, was feeling survivor's guilt. He also was feeling the stress of being at home with the parents and stuff, and so he just was like, you know what, I'm just going to deal with it myself. I'll just deal with it myself and not talk to my friends. you know um and for the rest, and it's kind of interesting that they all went to the same school but didn't talk. you know you just
Yeah.
kind of
Exactly.
find other people to kind of talk, kind of deal with. MC did stick with the girls though, Ava and Lily.
Yeah.
um but I feel like maybe Noah just really needed to process that on his own, and because of that he stayed away. He just didn't know how to talk to his friends anymore.
Yeah.
you know
I agree with you. I really
yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think part of it also is that not only is he having survivor's guilt, he also blames MC for what happened.
Yeah. Because Jen trusted MC more than anyone. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's amazing. Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, so that's why I think they ended up not staying in touch. It's not so much the other characters that didn't stay in touch with the MC. It was just that Noah. I think really Noah was the one who kind of isolated himself more. It's just because of what happened. You know.
Yeah. But when we see at in the first chapter at the end, when we're at the basketball court, I guess I think Noah was talking with MC quite freely, but then also he was sort of flinching and building the wall back. So it was kind of on and off. I think.
Yeah, just it's hard when you build these walls around yourself, and people want to be let in, and you just can't. You can't even tell them why. It's you've insulated yourself so much that it doesn't matter who it is. You're not gonna let the wall down. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm.
Um, in this book also, we have all these dark sides, really dark history, dark past, but also we to boost our nerve, we get this, I think, what was the dog's name, Hilda or something, and then a
Oh,
crow,
so
we get to
cute.
adopt it.
Yeah, yeah. Hilda was so adorable. Best puppy.
Yeah, yeah, that was really awesome. I think, I think we need this kind of scenes in specifically in a scary movie like this,
Yeah, you need that little bit of light, and you got that with the cat, and I thought it was funny. The Russell Crowe, that was hysterical. I cracked up. I didn't even change the name of the crow because it was just so
Russell.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like our physics professor in high school.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a really good one. I liked that a lot. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Hmm.
Overall, a really fine book, right?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't I think it's right up there with my top books. For the way the characters were so well rounded, the balance of the music and the art, and then also just the writing itself. It was very good. So I'm looking forward to playing It Lives Beneath.
Yeah. Best of luck with that. And I'm waiting for you to scream. It Lives With It is really good.
I'm hoping that you know I get all the scares, all the jump scares. It's gonna be fun.
Exactly. Let's hope. Okay. So now let's shift the mood to the nanny affairs. Is that
Okay,
okay?
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So the Nanny Affairs, it's also a new book. I think it is the second book. Correct me if I'm wrong. That where we had only one love interest. A
Mhm.
love interest locked book. So how was how when you first started playing? What was your thought? Did you have any sort of speculation or any skepticism about this? Like, well, maybe it's going to be take it or leave it book because it's just one love interest. If you sort of feel the affection or the mental bond toward them, then it's good. But then also, so in terms of acceptance of this thing, when you first heard about this, when you first started playing this, what was your thought? What was your thought process like?
Um, I was interested. I figured, what? We don't really have too many books where you only get one love interest and that's it. There's only a couple that are like that. Um,
Mhm.
and but when I started playing it, I found myself drawn to Robin. I love the Robin character, even though I know Robin is shifty. I know it. you know, we know what happens with Robin later. But I don't know. I just was drawn to Robin. It's so hard to just have the one, like, when you're used to having multiple choices for your love interest. Um,
Yeah,
I do like Sam. I think that the dynamic between him and MC. I know there's some people who just are like, "Oh, he's just so weak." It's like I don't think that Sam is weak at all. Um, they have a business to deal with. They have uh, stuff that they have to deal with Sophia. Yeah, and it's really a business arrangement between Sam and Sophia, and
Yeah.
they have to navigate how that's going to look, not just to uh, the boys, because you got to think about Sam's children, um, and then also the public, because Sam and Sophia are very public figures, so you can't just go out there taking the nanny everywhere. and showing her off in public. You just can't really do that, and and try to balance those things. It's a lot to have to deal with as Sam, and I think that I don't think that there was a lot of understanding understanding for Sam. It was just kind of like, wait, why are you not fully committed to this relationship? It's like, well, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Agreed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. This was really, like a classic slow burn between the nanny and the CEO of Dalton Enterprise. And yeah, the arranged marriage is just for, it's a marriage with benefits, like business benefit, companies benefit, and stuff. And
Mhm.
we often see that so today, but so that was really well depicted and the problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, how about the kids, Mickey and Mason?
Oh,
How?
they were so adorable.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it really, I mean, I have kids, so uh, and my kids are actually my stepchildren. My husband had children before I married him, so um, I understand what it's like to come in as the girlfriend, and you have the kids, saying, "Wow, I really wish that Dad was married to you." you know. Now our situation isn't like in the nanny affair. It's not. He was already divorced and all that stuff before that point.
yeah,
He was already single, and is not a CEO of a company. I wish he were, but he's not. you know. So our situations are different, but I understand how
yeah,
to navigate how the kids are going to feel. They'll know whether they want you to be part of the family or not.
yeah,
And it seems like the boys immediately took to the nanny,
yeah.
and felt felt pretty much like Sam did, in that we love you already. Why can't you just be part of the family? you know so,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
you know and the nicknames that they gave Sophia, I had to go back and play that diamond seed just to get the Sophia the reference, because people were using that online, and I was like, wait, did they come up with that, or is that like a thing? So I had to go back and play the book again to get this diamond scene to see where that came from. Yeah, it was so funny. I laughed out loud. It was great. you know
You're exactly right. My thoughts on that, it is classified as a CEO love genre, hot, sexy, and stuff. But that's really true. I mean, it would be really, we would be doing, we would not be doing justice if we just say, it's between just Sam and MC, like you said. Yeah, it's a really good thing because it's a big thing. Like Sam has two children, and the way they accept the nanny and the bond between the two boys and the nanny or MC. It's a really pure bond, and it's really cool. So it's
yeah.
just not. So we're not the kind of nanny that people like. Hey, we just want to deal with Sam, but I think it's kind of we have a bond with Sam. Sorry, the Mickey and Mason, and that's kind of pushing us towards Sam, and then vice versa. So it's
Mhm.
like really a strong triangle, I feel like, and it's a really good big thing they have developed. A really new way, and I really liked it. Yeah, I will see how it continues in book two.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens in book two. I agree with you. I think that with having the nanny establish the relationship with the kids first, it's like, okay, we know that she knows what the kids like. she knows who they are without having to write take notes to know who is who. Um, you know, and there was just this. They have she has something that with them that Sophia just doesn't have and isn't interested in. You can tell she's not interested in the kids at all, really. Um,
Yeah.
she's tolerant of the kids because of Sam, and knows that if you're marrying Sam, you're getting the kids. It's a package deal,
Yeah.
you know.
Buy one get one free.
Pretty pretty much. It's a good way to it's a good way to look at it. Um, but yeah, I feel like they're almost really by the end of the book, it was like they were a family, a complete family. Sam, MC, the kiddos. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking that by the end by the end of the second book, I'm thinking that we're going to either get a proposal or they'll be married by the end of the book.
Yeah, I think, and book two, the plot they have revealed, it's gonna be super interesting because they say this time you may not be the only nanny. This time around, you may not be the only nanny in town. So we're not the only nanny in the town. So I don't know, like
Yeah.
who's going to be the other nanny in town and what competition they're going to give and what competition. It's just is it going to be just a competition for the nanny spot, or
Yeah, so it's like, wait, are we competing with this other nanny for Sam, or are
yeah,
we competing for the job, or is Sophia trying to set us up? Like, like what's going on? So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
and they
there's a
also,
lot.
yeah. And they also say they're going to reveal some sort of details in the next book as to why Sam hates to take the subway. Maybe they're going to say something about how Sam's the first partner died.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking is that had to do with Sam's first partner. That something had happened in the subway, and that's the reasoning behind it. So I
Yeah,
kind of figured, just because of how Sam just flipped out about the train ride. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So by the way, hey, so did you watch the meme? Like with Sophia and Robin. Like they had, yeah,
Yes.
pop something in hand, like cornflakes or something, and then banana or something.
Yeah. The Sophia memes were just
Yeah,
absolutely hysterical. I thought those were just great. You know. Um, to see all the different faces in place of Robin. I think the funniest one was to see Sam's driver as Robin, taking Robin's spot. I just thought that was hysterical. It's like there's absolutely no way that's gonna happen. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it was pretty funny. I enjoyed that one a lot.
yeah,
The community that has sprung up around this app are just so creative and just so passionate about the books and about the characters. It's cool to see. It really is.
exactly. I mean, the way the art works, and I can't quite remember, but you did one edit too, or just an artwork. I forgot. It was um, 1.5 month, 1 month ago, or 1.5 month ago. Can't quite remember. But you did a great artwork. I think it was related to Oathbride, but I can't quite remember. So yeah, and yeah, this community is filled with really talented people. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And not just those who do edits or fan art. Folks who do podcasts. Like yourself and others. It takes a lot to say, what, I want to come on and talk about these books
yeah,
and these characters because they mean something to me. It takes a lot to do that. So kudos.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that it's just not a place where like everybody just come to just enjoy, but also they sort of get the chance to flourish themselves, grow their inner self and being creative, So
Hmm.
it's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sam's, for the first 7 or 8 chapters, when you had this slow burn with Sam, and Sam was getting jealous when Robin said, "Hey, let's kiss each other," and
Oh boy. It's like,
so
wow, you
how was
guys
it
are
like?
tempting fate. Oh
Yeah.
jeez. Yeah, that was a good one. It's just like, okay, Um that I did I think I thought it was kind of fun. It gave you a little something fun in there to kind of bring Sam over. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and flirt with Robin a little bit and see what happens, and see, like, hey, I'm gonna get you to pay attention to me now because I'm gonna do this. I thought it made for a little bit of fun in the book, and it also, I know, even though we all know that it was a single LI book, it gave those of us who are Robin fans a
Yeah.
little something to go on. To have MC flirt a little bit or have some tension with Robin. You know.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. I also enjoyed that. Specifically, I tried to go as hard as possible with Robin because I wanted to, see Sam's jealous face, like the way
Hmm.
they would just go like, okay, they would be grabbing Mike and saying something. I really enjoyed that slow burn between Sam and the main character. That was fun.
Hmm. Yeah, they really did well with that one. Um, and there were some folks who said that they thought that they just kind of jumped immediately into the relationship, but I don't feel like that. I feel like Sam really tried to not get into the relationship. And MC also has the option to just say, you know what, no, we're not doing this until later, and then you kind of gradually are coming around because you're around each other a lot. You're getting put into situations together, so you almost, obviously you kind of have to fall in love with them,
Yeah,
with them. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
You can say no to fate.
yeah, and it really is fate. It does seem like that. Like, you know, MC and Sam have known each other forever, even though they haven't, and they just kind of seem to belong together.
Exactly, that's true. And the way it develops chapter by chapter, that was super interesting.
Hmm.
Something to read
Yeah.
for. And it was something for that I would read the whole book and even the book too. And speaking of which, the accident that our MC, was in the car, and we were we hit something. I think we went to the hospital because of the accident, and
Oh
that sort of
yes.
changed Sam's mind because before that, until then, Sam was going to marry Sophia and saying, "Look, we're done. We'll be just remembering each other." But that accident made sort of helped clear up or help Sam make up her mind. Make up their mind about what they want to do because they have already lost one loved one, and probably they don't want to lose another one, and what our main character meant to them, and they didn't want to lose our MC. So that sort of helped Sam make up their mind. So that was a really important scene. No.
Yeah, I think it was. It. I agree with you that it really cemented Sam thinking, you know what, if I don't tell this person how I feel, I'm gonna lose them. You know, and considering that Sam had already had loss before with their first love, um, it really drove, just really drove them into MC's arms at that point. You know, if you didn't think that Sam wasn't in love with her before, hey, Sam absolutely is now. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
So you're eagerly waiting for the book too, right?
Oh yes, I think I better probably read the first one again just before it comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll see if I can. This would be worth it. Let's hope.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm hoping so.
Now, another book is going to come out that is Queen Bee. So the Queen Bee is a fantastic book with the competition. Like you said before, you need to spend diamonds to increase your rank. You start at 200 and something, then go up, up in the ranking, and then finally you become the number one if you use your diamonds wisely. And that happens at the end of the book. And then Poppy, this wild ride with everyone, whole lot of love interest, whole lot of flings, and your professor and stuff. So how would you like to describe your experience with Queen Bee?
Um, I I liked the professor immediately. In my playthrough, it was Ian. Um, and I actually liked Zoe a lot too, but I kind of
Yeah.
felt like just my opinion on this, but I kind of felt like what they did with Zoe, what they did with Ava, that because of fan interest, that they made her into a love interest that she was not supposed to be initially.
Mhm.
Um, because if my thought is this is that if Zoe was supposed to be a love interest from the beginning, there is no way she would be telling MC that she needs to go and hook up with the professor.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Um, so uh, I liked Zoe, but I do kind of felt like they kind of threw the romance angle in just a little bit after the fact. You know,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I liked Professor too. I mean, quite like, it was quite a scene. Like you're going to your class and you're seeing your professor and you're realizing, damn, I just hooked up with this
yeah.
person last night. What is this? And then there's that both of their faces. I mean, that was like, wow, this is about to get interesting.
Yeah. Folks were just stunned, and um, another thing I thought was really funny was having the little bit of flirtation stuff with Poppy. It was just like, wait a minute,
They were
like
hook up.
what? It's like I'm like Poppy, she's rude. you know. Oh man, it's like she's so rude. Why would I want to get with her?
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I mean, this is the book. I mean, after Perfect Match and things, this is the book like where you get to hook up with almost everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
almost every main character.
Yeah.
This is really something I never hoped I would see in a book. Yeah.
yeah, but I just thought it was really funny that Poppy was even an option, you know, um, considering how horrible she was to us all
Mhm.
school year long,
Yeah, I mean,
But I
yeah,
think Poppy was more the supposed to be the option if you took the bad girl or bad girl route. I think that Poppy was an option because
mhm,
of that. Um,
yeah,
and I there were some points in the book where I just laughed out loud. It was just so funny, that some of the stuff that was happening. The
mhm.
the pageant stuff, when
Hera House or something. Yeah.
yeah, when they get pushed in when was it Poppy that no, somebody ended up in the fountain. And I can't remember who it was right now. But I thought that was funny. The party at the sorority house was funny. There was some. I like the balance. It almost played like a romantic comedy. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Exactly.
had a very rom com feel to it. Where there were some points where you just had to laugh out loud. This is just hysterical.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
especially when you
And
got Ian or Ina trying to resist MC. You know.
yeah, that was super awesome. And the scenes, yeah.
hmm
And the tea, it really
Oh
astonishing, right? It
yes,
really
so good.
amazing.
Yeah, I thought the tea was fun. It was kind of cool because I remember going to school, and there
Yeah.
was always the kind of what they call the grapevine. It's like everybody hears it through somebody else. And
Mhm.
it was fun. I felt like the tea drove the story a little bit. Um, it really kind of pushed the narrative. It's like, all right, this is what's happening on campus, and you know what, such and such is over here doing this, and that might have an effect on the whole school. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like how they brought in the gossip columnist. You know.
hmm Yeah, it was super fun, and the way the tea used to ride, like kisses from the tea, and then this is happening, that is happening, the metaphors and stuff, and punching them and making something. It was really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
The newbie, it was like it was super awesome.
Yeah, the puns, that was I love a good pun, so that was great. You know, the art was really good. I liked the different,
Ranking,
yeah,
yeah,
the different rankings, and you saw the different names for people. I mean, what was it? What was it? I think it was the twins that like didn't even have a name. It was just kind of like where they were from or something, you know. Yeah, I thought that was just so funny.
yeah. I mean, I felt like this was about bullying and counter bullying and trash talking and lots of trash talking.
Oh, Queen Bee is messy, but it's so fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a girls' version in a school of WWE.
hmm
But yeah, it's a huge, and the fight that we have with Poppy and other girls, like at the last chapter, how we can throw something, and how we can embarrass Poppy, we can disclose her family secret, and that she is no Sinclair, and that was the top
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, that was pretty intense. And then it was kind of like, oh, do we throw it in her face or not? You know.
I
And
did it.
I really wanted to, but I didn't. I didn't do it.
What?
I didn't do it. I know. My character is a good girl. She didn't do it. You know? I wanted to though. Believe me, I did. But I think what I'm gonna do is when I play through it again before the second book comes out, I think I'm gonna do the bad girl route and see what happens.
Yeah, just whack it on her face this time with a baseball bat, probably.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Wait.
And I'm sure she's just stunned when you tell her. I know it. I believe it. It's like
Yeah.
what?
Exactly, and the language also. I think like choices really went in a different route using the language. Because I don't think they use the languages they have used here in any other books. So it was like always an extravaganza for choices. A
hmm
wild ride.
Yeah, yeah. They really did. Especially I kind of felt like with Nanny Affair that Nanny Affair, Queen Bee, that the intimate scenes were completely different than what we'd seen in any of the other books. So it was kind of
Exactly.
like, oh, this is a little cheeky.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It was very surprising,
Yeah.
to see the differences in the language, say between Queen Bee and Nanny Affair versus like the royal romance, where things are it gets steamy,
It's
but it
very
doesn't
subtle.
go there. you know,
Very subtle. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But I liked it. I thought it was these those stories are edgy. You know what I mean? They're a lot edgier romantically than the royal romance. So the language needed to be a little bit more edgy too. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm. And as to in terms of the black, yeah. Before I go to, you remember Benji, right? The creepy dude.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yes, the shrine guy. Oh my gosh. What
What,
a
what,
creeper.
what did he build, by the way? The what appreciation center or adoration? What did he call it?
I think it was the adoration station or something
Yeah,
like that.
adoration center, or yeah, station adoration center. I mean, that
Yeah.
was what was that? The doll, something he called it. I forgot. Oh, it was just the
Yeah,
mannequin.
that was just way too weird. It's like old mashed potatoes and spaghetti and stuff. It's like what the heck? It's like I can't. When we were going through that scene and she found the shrine, I was just sitting there thinking, I don't even want to know how that smells. You know, I was like, ew. Like I
Exactly.
just can't.
I mean, we would have gotten senseless if we're present there. I mean, at least I would have gotten me. That always stinks just by reading it. I don't want to
Yeah,
smell.
yeah. I felt grossed out just reading the description of it. It was like, okay, no, I'm good.
Right. And as to who is sabotaging MC and the professor, do you have any like this is the main topic of the book too? So any guess, anything that you want to share that who could possibly be behind everything? Is it someone old? Is it someone new? What do you think about that?
Oh wow. You know, I'm still not sure. Um, I thought maybe it was Poppy, but I don't think so now. I
Yeah.
really don't. I think it's a character that may have been watching MC for a while, maybe jealous, maybe of MC. But
Mhm.
I don't think we've met the player yet. I don't think we've met him.
Yeah. I also think that, who has been a silent watcher of our main character and her activities, her deeds, and now they are taking the gloves off and coming for us because they know book one has ended and book two is coming, so it's their cue to be villain.
Yeah, yeah, because we need a new villain. You know, I mean, Poppy really isn't
No,
villain material anymore.
no, I mean the book one was she was like I think what made her villain like the way she treated us and people like it made her look like a really bad person and everyone wanted to punch her face but the way the hookup scenes really changed the dynamics but still everyone wanted to punch her face so that made her a villain so yeah but not anymore we need a
Yeah,
new
yeah, we need a new villain. So I think whoever they bring out will probably be the one who's trying to blackmail us.
yeah
Mhm.
exactly so let's hope this book is going to be spot on.
Oh, I'm super looking forward to that. Nanny Affair 2, Queen Bee 2. And you know what's funny? I was not even going to read Queen Bee. I wasn't even
Me
going to do
too.
it,
Yeah.
because I was just like, oh, college drama, who cares? And some friends from the Facebook from a Facebook group had said, no, you have to read it. It's way deeper than that. It's like, okay, all right, I'll give it a chance, and then I just blew through it. I ended up loving it. I could not put it down.
Yeah, same. I mean, I didn't end up like really loving it, but I ended up liking it, and I started playing after watching that Benji crap. So everyone was talking. Yeah, that was like, whoa! I gotta read it. I gotta read it now.
Yes. Oh man, Benji was such a creeper.
Yeah, creepy
you
dude.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, book two. I mean, we're talking about book two of this, but we're also gonna get the book two of the Heir. So this is the last book of the Royal Romance series. I mean, the Royal Heir series also.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad for that actually. And I'm saying that as a fan of the series. Um because there's a lot of people that are like, oh no, we can just go on and we can see what happens with the heir and how she becomes queen and this and that. And it's like, nah, I don't think so. You know, we haven't played for the child. We've been playing for Riley, and really at the end of this, that'll be kind of like the end of Riley's story, and it
yeah,
should be done. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's becoming like Vampire's Diary or Twilight at this point now.
yeah. There is such thing as too much of a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if it's too short, it would be like, oh, it should have gone for too long, but still, viewers are happy. But if you take it, drag it too long, then it's like, it's not good anymore.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. But yeah, how do you feel about? I haven't personally read this book much, The Raw Air, but what do you think? What was your thought on The Raw Air 3, and what do you think could unfold in the fourth book?
Um, trying to remember did if we
Yeah,
caught
Bartholomew or someone was there, right? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's like I think we ended up finally uncovering who the bad people were, and they basically showed us who they are at the end of that book. And I was shocked. I was completely shocked. Did not expect it at all. Did not expect it at all. Um, so that was cool to get a serious twist. Um, what do I think is going to happen? Probably by the end of it, I don't know. I think we're going to maybe see the heir as a teenager. Maybe we might get something kind of future, a little time jump.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm not. I honestly, I have no idea. I really don't know. All I know is I know who the big bad is, and it'll be interesting to see how they resolve that.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out in book two, book four then.
Right? Yeah, because they did not really let on give any
Mhm.
clues, nothing. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Now, speaking of this book, the next book, that is Wolf Pride, you are really fascinated by this book, right?
Oh
Because
yes. hmm
you're really like impressed by this book. So why is that?
I thought that the writing in it was different than what we had seen before. Um, I thought the idea of the again the love triangle. I loved that. It's just my thing. It's like, okay, two people are competing for the attentions of you know my main character. Fantastic. I love it. Um, I liked the environmental angle on it. The magic angle. I liked that. Uh, and I thought that the characters were written pretty well. You know, I know
Yeah.
that there are folks who just don't like the book, and I get it. It's a big source of conflict in the fandom. Um,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And
Yeah.
I could also see the flaws in the characters, and a lot of folks kind of just dwelled on those flaws instead of, you know, just
Mhm.
taking it for what it is and moving on with it. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good one. I liked it.
Yeah. About the flaws, I have my opinion on that. Before that, I would like to say this phrase, different waves for different babes. So, it
Yeah,
works for babes who like this wave. Now, about a book, I think, I don't know because I didn't, of course, read the whole book still. So, but I think the people, like you said, the character, some problem with the character developments or the how the characters are represented, some scenes are represented. So I think, we have to see like this is about wolf man, so it's a different perspective there. And also, if you get characters really perfect from chapter 1 to chapter 16, then it's not a book, right? So maybe you can see there is some fault in some character, but in book you see the development of the character, right?
yeah,
From then at the end you see like, yeah, that's like how they develop throughout the chapter. Like our main character's father in My Two First Loves, he was a different person when the book started, and when the book ended, he was protective, he was supportive, he was encouraging, he was everything that he was not before, toward the start of the chapter in My Two First Love. So I think that's a big part, like how you make a character evolve, develop
yes,
into a better self. So yeah.
yeah. And MC really helped not just Bastion and Morgan, but helped the pack evolve.
Hmm.
It's like, hey, maybe consider that what you were doing in the past just wasn't right.
Yeah.
Um, and you're weakening your pack by not being accepting of other people. You know.
Yeah.
Um, then there's the what you had mentioned earlier about how it's about werewolves. And it's like, you know what? Werewolves are people. They're wolves. Number one, who look like people. you know,
Exactly.
and
100%.
yeah, and we really cannot put modern or
Yeah.
human thinking into how they behave.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we know that in real life, just, you know, discarding your child because they're blind is a horrible thing. We know this, but you cannot apply that logic to
Yeah.
characters who they only see strength as being whole and being and having and having not been born just on the full moon. Um, they really kind of look down on people who were born on the full moon, like Morgan was. You know,
Yeah.
you just cannot put really your modern day morality towards that. You just can't. It doesn't. It's supernatural. It's not the same. You know.
Exactly, I agree with you. But again, the trick is that toward the end, everything is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It can be. I guess it really depended on how you want how you chose your relationship at the end.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I knew that I wanted my character to be with Bastion, so it for me, yeah, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, though, I kind of wished, and even though I get it, I know that um, that ultimately Bastion had to be the leader of the pack, but I
Yeah.
kind of thought it would have been fun to see him just say, you know what, forget it. It's like I get it. These folks were my family, but they've chosen someone else to be their leader, and we're gonna
Mhm.
just run away and start our own family. You know,
Mhm.
um, yeah. So I thought that would have been cool. Uh, I did not take the wolf form for my character. I did. I left her human. I left her as
Yeah.
Wolfkin.
It would have been a little awkward, right?
Um, I just didn't. I just didn't want to see my character to become a werewolf. It's like, no, she's in love with the werewolf. She doesn't want to become one.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure I'll play the book again, and if I do, I'll have her go full werewolf. But I just didn't. I only took like some of the powers here and there, like the super healing. I took that. The super strength. I took that.
Yeah.
Um, the animal speak. I took that. So I only took a few of the powers that I thought would be necessary to communicate with the pack in their feral form.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Mhm.
Um, that, like I said, all is well that ends well. So yeah, it definitely, your choice, your time and spending. It depends on that. So you unlocked all the powers, right?
I didn't.
Oh, that's cool. So there's a point about choices clear it up about the bonus scene. So they said the bonus scene wasn't clear or something. So what was that?
I didn't get that because I didn't unlock all the powers, and I know that I saw a lot of kind of rumbling about it on Twitter that people have said, "Hey, I unlocked everything, but I didn't see a bonus scene or I didn't get one," and it was like, "Oh, okay, interesting." I mean, I didn't see anything different, but I did not. I didn't choose all the powers either. Like I said, I did not have her go full werewolf, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah,
she only took like a handful of the powers, not even all of them.
yeah. This book was really a big, fun book and awesome book. When the book ended, it was really awesome. I could see a flood of posts and stuff, and also choices changed their profile picture on Instagram to this. I guess Old Pride. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun book.
yeah, I thought it was fun as well. I can understand why some folks were upset, but ultimately, a lot of people really liked it.
Yeah, different waves for different waves.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
Exactly. This wave was for us.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you waiting also for BOLAS book too?
I did not finish Blades. I didn't finish it.
How far?
I tried so hard to like it, and I couldn't.
So, how far have you gotten?
Let me look, and I can tell you for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see. Where is my app? I don't think I got
Maybe
very
in
far at
first
all.
page. section.
Blades of Light and Shadow. Last chapter I read was chapter 4. So
Oh,
I'm way at the beginning. Yes, I'm way at the beginning. So
yeah. Well, so yeah, I mean, this released last year. This replaced America's Most Eligible. I remember.
oh, okay. And I haven't read that one either. I've heard good things about it though. It's so bad. I know it's like there are some folks who just like read everything, and I don't. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if you really would like it, America's Most Eligible. I mean, well, like I said, different waves to different babes. So I liked
Mhm.
it personally. Like I
Yeah.
like good story. Yeah. Um. So how's slow burn going?
For me, it's okay. I am on. Let me go back.
Yeah. Chapter 4.
No, I haven't even finished chapter 1 yet. It's like I'm reading so much stuff. It's just, oh my gosh, I had to slow down. Um, but yeah, I have not read past chapter 1 yet. I do like the introduction of the characters. The main love interest, he kind of reminds me of Gordon Ramsay a little bit.
You
You
stupid
know?
sandwich!
Yes. You know.
Put the
Um,
sandwich in your head.
and so he kind of reminds me of that. And I'm actually curious to see what happens, but I actually want to have like a few more chapters. You know, it looks like they have what seven chapters are out now. So now that it has that many chapters in, I'll probably start to catch up. Um, but it gets hard where they come out only once a week, so it's like, oh man, all right. I kind of want
Yeah,
to binge it all like a TV show, you know.
yeah,
And
I totally agree with that. Yeah, that's how I finished most of my choices books, and
yeah,
that was fun. Like the excitement. Okay, what's next? What's this? I have 3 hours for the key. Then I'm gonna read it again. What's gonna happen? What's the fresh excitement?
yes. So,
Yeah,
um, so yeah, so
totally.
I'm just kind of waiting a little bit and see what see how I want to play it after that. Um, I don't, and I'm not even sure really which love interest I'm most interested in. I'm not even sure yet.
Yeah, you'll figure it out as you go, I guess.
Hmm.
Mhm. And I also think Desire and Decorum is one of your favorite series, no?
Oh yes, I love that series so much.
And like, what really stood out in this series for you than other books?
I love playing period pieces. So it was cool to see the character who's just a simple country girl,
Hmm.
just a country girl, very smart, very bright, go from basically rags to riches story. Um,
Yeah.
I loved all the characters in the book. Clara's dad. I thought he was well rounded considering how much time we had with him. Um, all the LIs are just so fun. Um, and I like that uh, each of them have unique strengths. They're none of, and so that's really good too. Um, yeah, the the uh, the period, the love interests, the
Hmm.
the art, the music, all of it just kind of comes together. And I love the villain. I Duke Richards, he's a total jerk, but I really love the character. He's
Yeah.
horrible, but I really like him.
Mhm. Did you play the Christmas special? Like, no, winter special, something? A
I
four
did.
chapter book? Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, I thought it was nice. I liked when Clara and her best friend are out there, kind of making fun of her brother's mom, the countess,
Mhm.
with the snowman, and there was some
Yeah, yeah,
drama where
yeah,
she fell through the ice, and yeah, so I
yeah,
was like, oh man, this is kind of action packed for just a kind of a one shot,
exactly. I mean, yeah, I mean, specifically the language of desire and decorum. I played this winter special, and then it's like like the Shakespearean language, how they're saying, oh my queen, and it's really, yeah, the period. It really speaks louder. It really touches the heart.
yeah. So I enjoyed that. Sometimes you just don't want something modern. You want to go
Yeah,
back and
exactly,
be part of the
exactly.
past.
I liked it. Really liked it. Hey, by the way, on speaking of which, I really have this question for you. How do you read Choice's books? I mean, let me rephrase the question. Do you read the chapters out loud, or like you did in the stream, or like when you are reading for yourself, or you just read it in your head? How do you do it?
Um, I just I just read it in my head. I only read it out loud when I'm doing streams. But and I do kind of imagine how people might sound in my head. Which kind of translates to how I do it when I'm streaming. So, they all have unique voices.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I personally do this. I really like to read it out loud, so and sort of, like how they would speak, sort of, so like what we have in movies, how they
Hmm.
act in movies. So I try to be like that sometimes, specifically with my first stuff, it was really right up the alley because, the first person writing and everything, it was super
Yeah.
cool, like a movie, yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of actually, I think quite a few of the choices books could actually go translate from book to another medium. I think they could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. They have the potential. I mean, lots of books
Hmm.
have the potential,
Oh yeah,
and
for sure. Yeah, they have a lot of great talent on their writing staff for sure, for sure. Mhm.
mm, that is super fun. And Laws of Attraction, you haven't played it yet, right?
Right, I have not.
Yeah, I haven't really started it yet too. So I would start the Laws of Attraction, and then I'll go to Baby Bump. I'm sorry. What? Yeah, Open Heart.
Let's see. Last chapter that I read in Open Heart was, let's see.
Chapter
Okay,
four.
so I'm only in a chapter behind. So I'm on chapter 10.
Ooh.
Where the team is back together and Inez is making the announcement that'll surprise the hospital. I have not played that chapter yet, but
Oh,
I
so
did finish
yeah,
chapter
one chapter.
9.
Yeah. Yeah, you're quite up to date. You're quite up to date. You just need to play two chapters within this week, and you'll be good to go. You'll
Yeah,
be caught up
I
with this.
know. It's like I'm so behind. It's so bad. But I didn't want to burn out too quickly. So,
Yeah,
I've
take
been
care.
working on catching up with Foreign Affairs, and then I played It Lives. So now I can finish Foreign Affairs and then pick another book, so I can have just two going at the same time.
Yeah. Who is your ally in Open Heart?
Ethan, I love
Yeah.
Ethan.
Yeah.
um,
I love to, his specific, in terms of his, like his ideologies and the way he works, he thinks. And I really like the Cold War between Ethan and Bloom.
yes, yeah, I like him. I know he's very brooding and he's a little bit tough, rough around the edges, but he has a heart of gold. I think Ethan is a sweetheart. you
Yeah.
know, um, and I would say another love interest that I like
Rafael?
is yeah, Raphael. Yeah, I like him a
Yeah.
lot.
Actually, I went with him in the last book because I wasn't liking Jackie that much, and then there was only Rafai because he just became a love interest and he almost he was dying and he got a second life. So I was really looking after him, because Raphael is a sweetheart. Like, I really
Oh
like
yeah.
him, and it's about everyone.
Oh yeah, big time. And um, I I know there are people who like Jackie. I don't. I don't know. I just don't. I can't see her as a love interest. I just can't.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, for characters that I wish were love interests, I think Aurora and Sienna would be great, or
yeah,
Sierra. I mean, um, only problem is there are so many LIs in the book. They would just be way too many, and the
yeah,
ones that they have barely get enough screen time.
yeah.
Because the concern about it mostly being about Ethan, that's true. It is. Ethan gets like about all of the screen time when it comes to being the LI. Um,
Yeah.
but to add, say, two more people as LIs in a book where there already isn't enough time for the other ones, I don't think that would be a good idea at all. You know.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done one thing, that they could have made Ethan a gender customizable and race customizable love interest. That would have been super awesome,
I
because it
would have
would,
liked that.
yeah. And personally, I felt like, I don't know. I thought maybe, what was her name, Kyra. I thought maybe the way she was flirting with her on day one when we met her, and she was fighting cancer. Like, wow, two hot doctors are competing for me. I might be in luck today. So, I thought she would be a love interest. I really liked her for a long time, and yeah, Esme, because I thought, a lot of people also say, like, the way we have this mentor mentee relationship with Ethan, maybe we would have gotten to create the same relationship with Esme. That would have only been fair. That would have been
Yeah,
only fair. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Kyra was I liked her too. I liked her a lot. It's like, especially, she's works for the hospital now. She's just
exactly. If she were
she's
love interest, that only would have been fair. Yeah,
yeah, and she's very positive and upbeat, and yeah, I like her character.
exactly.
Esme, I don't know. I'm not sure how I would feel about her as an Li. I don't, I like her character. I think she's very tough. I liked her intro, like the intro of her, in her initial story. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I just can't see her being the Li either.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And I think, are you caught up with the Jade and Jackie storyline? Like, Jackie's pushing Jade to be a doctor, but Jade is more into research and sort of things. Like, Jade is an intern, but Jackie is giving her more tasks in the hope that Jade will learn more and will grow more.
Yeah, I think Jackie sees a lot of herself in Jade. So
Exactly.
she's kind of projecting. She's like, okay, we we're both women of color, we're both, in medicine, you know but instead of playing to Jade's strengths, which obviously is research, she's trying to push her in a different direction, and that could backfire on her. Something really bad could happen if she continues to push Jade in this way.
Yeah, I think that's the way, because I think we are getting enough hints when we get back from this vacation. I think there would be a scene where probably Jade will mess up and something will happen that would open Jackie's eyes. Maybe, Jackie doesn't need to push Jade that hard, because if Jade just wants to get past her intern year, and then she can be a researcher, because she keeps up with the research work with great enthusiasm, and she
Mhm.
can be like Alicia. So yeah, that would be super awesome. But I think we're gonna have to see one of those scenes, and maybe we would have to spend some diamonds to save Jade, or but we'll see. But I think that thing is, it's coming, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I agree with you on that. I think something is going to happen.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I mean, but yeah, Open Heart Book 3 is full of drama, and yeah, medical drama and stuff. So I like it so much, irrespective of the love interest dilemma.
yes, yeah, I like that they balance, real problems with some that are fake. Like, remember the gal that was in that came in because of the beats. Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
laughed so hard. I thought that
yeah.
was hysterical. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, and specifically, if you choose the last option when Tobias would say something about beat, and if you say, "Well, you are unbeatable," then you would continue a conversation with beat, like, "Well, you are unbeatable." Well, that is, something with beat. The conversation would carry on. It would be super awesome.
Yeah, so all the puns being thrown around was just fantastic. It was great. I love a good pun. So
Pun intended.
yes,
I do intend pun. Yeah, and also, I mean, Ethan and Tobias, their relationship we're seeing in a different way. Like we heard from Tobias, I'm sorry, Ethan so far, but we're getting to know from Tobias, and we're seeing. I think they're gonna end up as the friends again sooner
yeah,
than
I
later.
think so. Yeah, I think so too. I think they're gonna, maybe see that hey, this rivalry is just not. It's really destructive, and come back to being friends. I think something big is going to happen with Bloom that will push that. That'll kind of be the catalyst for making sure that that Toby and Ethan get to be friends again.
Yeah, I mean, there. I think we if we in that beat no no in the next case where there's who is from Hong Kong, is a businesswoman. She's admitted to the hospital, and we and I think the chapter 9 or 10, I don't know, but we and Tobias solve the case, and we go to the patient's house. So we get to know about a lot of backstories, and Tobias is the person who first sort of invented this, like going to patient's house to study the medical case, and Ethan learned from him, and then he says like he jeopardized Ethan's spot because of the competition. It got bad. Like he sort of brought some bad blood in the competition, so that really harmed everything, and he wants to get back to good terms with Ethan, and he wants Ethan to give him some competition so he can improve himself, but he always wants Ethan as his mentor to give him the competition. So yeah, so we see all those things, and he praises our main character. That was really awesome scene. That was really
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. There's a lot of good stuff that's happening in Open Heart.
yeah.
But I've enjoyed that one. I personally though, I kind of hope they wrap it up in this particular book. I think 3 books is good. But if it continues, I'm not going to be upset with it. I like it enough to keep reading. you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people. I think the third book is could be the end book, but again, they can expand it to the fourth and can give it a fourth book. We don't know, because they said in their when they canceled the books, they said, "Well, with your love and hope, we will create a book in the future with 10, 10, what could they say, like seasons, or with 10, sort of say, let's say, so to speak,
Yeah.
sequels." Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows?
yeah, I think it's gonna things are gonna come to a head with Bloom, and that might be where 3 ends and then 4 could begin. That there will be some like big showdown between Bloom and the doctors, leading into book 4 and trying to maybe get him out of the hospital or get him pushed out as an executive. So
Yeah. So yeah, because I don't know. Do you think that is it possible that we would be ending with a Bloom Edenbrook, not original Edenbrook? I don't think it's possible, is it?
I don't think so. I think it'll change back. Who
Yeah,
knows? The neighborhood might try to save it or something. You know.
exactly. But speaking about Bloom, I really want to say this. But Bloom's character is really awesome, isn't it? Because you can't really say he's a bad character or a good character. Because in this case, again, Pixelberry, their representation, this is really, he's not a villain like, oh, he's a bad guy. You can't just say that. It depends on where you are standing and as who you are seeing him. Because, like, for Elijah, he's a great, giving opportunities to research on something, and he's helping the medical science. Yeah, of course, it is only because he wants to cure his wife. That's why he's doing it. But again, on the flip side, if his wife gets cured, then the cure is available to everyone. But on the other
Yeah.
side, he's using patients as guinea pig, and so it's like, mixed a mixture of bad, good. It's really hard to, sometimes our main character sees the pictures of Bloom and Bloom's wife, how they loved each other throughout their life, and then everything he's doing for her, but again, what he's doing, harming other people, and then everything mixed together. He's doing bad things, good things. It's really weird. It's a really well representation of a bad character, or I don't know, if like a character, not bad, not good. It depends on how you see it. Because I'm just sorry for this long speech, but one thing I would like to mention in book two, he said when he went for the kidney, he said, well, he wasn't. We told him like, well, you can live, but if you get a new kidney, then you wouldn't live for long, and you would have to wait for a long time. He said, well, look, I can just buy a kidney. So we said, but people were waiting there, and who probably are gonna get. They said. Then Bloom said, well, I have money, I'll buy that. Then we said, Rafael, like, this is really cruel. He has the money, he can buy the kidney, and he can live for maybe not for his full life, but maybe 5 more years he's buying. And someone who was there waiting for the kidney, who could have lived for many more years and who needs this more, they're not going to get the kidney. Then Rafael said, well, if you had a loved one and you wanted to save them, what would you have done? You would have done everything you could have, right? So the choices, I think they're going. I mean, really a weird depiction. I mean, really good. Like it's really like in real life, what's good is bad. What's bad is good. I think it's how you look. So, what do you think about that? I'm sorry. I think I made sense.
Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, no, what Bloom does, especially in regard to the research, is definitely not a selfless act. It's definitely a selfish act. But at the same time, because he's trying to cure his wife. But at the same time, he also knows that, there's money to be made in medical research. So
Hmm.
if he can, get a breakthrough that will generate more money, then the more money generated would be able to further help his wife, by
Hmm.
keeping the research in business. So he's definitely a very shrewd businessman. It's he's obviously he's not a dum dum or something. He knows
Yeah.
what he's doing,
Yeah.
and he's not doing. I don't feel like he's doing it for evil reasons. I don't think he's really a villain. I just think he's kind of a bit of a pain in the butt to our main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just a little thorn in their side. Other than that, he's just a person.
I totally agree with you. But I found that, like I said, it's really interesting. Like the depiction, I really think about it. It's really super awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm. Um. Well, so for to 10 things, you are how you are at chapter 14 in foreign affairs, right?
Yes.
So how far are you liking it?
Uh
So far, how are you liking it? Sorry, yeah, I'm sleepy, I
yeah.
guess.
Oh no, no worries. I like foreign affairs. I did expect that maybe I haven't really hit the scandal yet, other than just the out at the lake incident. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't. I was kind of expecting a little bit more out of the scandal. And right now I'm just not seeing that. Um, Overall though, it's fun to try to make friends with all of the other young politician types, or the young royalty at the school. um I do like that. I like the relationships between the MC and the LIs. I like that too. I chose Tatum for mine. um and I really like him. I like Tatum a lot. He's very tough, and
Yeah.
but he's also he cares very much for the MC. I think Blaine does too. I think Blaine cares about the MC as well. But he or he or she, the whichever Blaine you played, um, is is kind of the wild child in comparison to Tatum. Tatum is very
Yeah.
straight laced, very very proper when he's at work, and then of course he kind of lets loose a little bit when he's not. But Blaine is very much, hey, this is who I am, and I don't care what you think, and I really like that too.
Yeah, carefree. Yeah.
Mhm. I kind of liked the little fake dating thing between MC and Alexi, until I figured that Alexi was going to be with the other character, with the other guy. Um,
Henry.
Henry, thank you. I couldn't remember his name. But yeah, with Henry, uh, because of how he was acting, it was just kind of like, oh, he was jealous for sure, But I thought Alexi was really cute and could have been a good match for the MC. He would have been a fun match for the MC.
Yeah, exactly. And lots of people are saying about that about Alexi and about I think what the other
Dion,
the female option, huh?
Dion.
Yeah, for Dion and no, the female fake date option. Who I
Oh,
can't
I don't know
remember.
who that is. Yeah. Um.
Evelyn. Evelyn.
Oh, is it Evelyn? Okay. Yeah. It's like I couldn't remember because I just picked Alexi, and my character is I have the male MC for my character.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so yeah, there were two options like Alexei and Evelyn you can choose from. So,
Right. Yeah, that's right. It was Evelyn. I couldn't remember. But I did
yeah.
like that she stood up to her brother. I thought that was a good scene for her. A good character building moment.
Hmm. Yeah, and the way how far are you again? Chapter 14.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I is
On
it
the
is
yacht.
it yeah. So I liked Aina by the way really much because again, her scenes are awesome. The music that it plays whenever we are with her, it's super awesome. I just
Mhm.
wish she would have gotten more time, specifically after what happened later in the book. More time to sort of because that would have been super good plot with her with a love interest and MC, like a slow, not a slow burn, but it's a different relationship, like how to get back, so that would have been super awesome. But
Mhm.
I think more time would have been super awesome.
Yeah. I my character or the way I'm playing the MC is that right now he is not in a forgiving mood. Has not, he really is not interested in what Ina has to say. Um, about why she did it or any of those things. He's just like, whatever, I don't care, just go. you know.
Well, I was like, well, I thought maybe the options were really harsh. I was like, inside, like, wow, really? You don't need to say sorry. I totally understand. Yeah, I totally understand you. I really liked Anna's character and love interest. I really, really liked her.
Yeah, and I don't think we really got a real explanation as to why. Well, unless you did
Diamond scene.
the diamond scene, and I didn't. I was just kind of like, nope, not interested. Bye. I think I want to go back through at some point just to see what her explanation was for why she did what she did. Um,
Yeah, that'd
you
be
know,
worth it.
yeah,
That'd be worth some diamonds. Yeah, that'd be cool. Um, I hope like when you finish foreign affairs, then you're gonna have so much fun. But also,
yeah. I do like it, so I'm going to continue it and get through the end to get through to the end. You know.
exactly. So, any new books you have in mind? Because I am almost done with my list.
Um, No, I haven't really been reading too many. I'm excited for the books that are to come, the zombie book especially, and I don't remember what the other one was. It's not the Laws of Attraction just came out, um, and then so we have the zombie book, and then there was another one,
Hmm.
but I don't quite remember what it was.
The
So
Crimes of Passion.
yes, thank you. That's what it was. I was like, wait, I can't remember. Yeah, but yeah, Crimes of Passion. I'm actually interested in those two. But I know that we haven't even remotely got a release date for those yet. So Just have to wait and find out like everybody else.
I think it's if you talk about zombie book, we're looking at maybe December, and if you talk about Crimes of Passion, maybe we're looking at
The
Halloween.
summer?
So yeah, it's a long shot
Yeah. So
because they
I'm
haven't
interested.
decided zombie book's name yet. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, because do we know if we're gonna get Nanny Affair back by the summer or no?
Yeah, because they, say there's steamy thing in summer, so by June, July, we can expect Nanny Affair. That's for sure. And by the same time, we can also expect this Royal Air, and maybe 1 month, before or 1 month after that, Queen B2, because they're looking forward to release these three books. If they want to get over with this, specifically what like the way they are dragging, they've been dragging this royal air or the royal romance thing. So that would be ending. Then the book two project of the Nanny Affair and Queen Bee. So once they're done with this, I think they will be going with the new books, and then I think in 2022 we'll get more new projects.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that. It's not that I don't love the things that have come before, but something new is always fun.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. Um, so yeah, that's all from me. If you have anything else to add, and of course, like could be anything regarding any book or regarding just choices in general or anything you want to say. It's just anything you want to say about it.
Um, well, thanks for having me on again. I had a lot of fun just chatting with you about these books and and how much we love them. Uh, so I
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, but I mean, I haven't spoken with anyone about choice. I don't think about anything at all for 2 hours 40 minutes almost. I mean, that's I think 1 hour 30 minutes. That I don't know. Like I gotta have a hard time processing this video, man. This is a long. And you wouldn't believe what time is it. That's why I have slurry speech. I'm saying something wrong, and this is it's literally 2 a.m. here.
Oh my god. Oh gosh. Yeah, so
Like
it is very very late for you. It's 1:30 here in the afternoon here in Arizona in the
yeah,
United States. So, yeah.
like
Well, thank you for staying up so late.
yeah, no, I don't feel sleepy that much. Like the excitement is there, but yeah, my like sentence construction and my like speaking sometimes gets slurry, and like because of sleep.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
totally fine.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Like
worries.
I
It's
said,
fine. Thank you for taking the time and staying up.
like I said, instead of saying so far, how many chapters have you read? I said something like, how far, so many chapters you've read, or something like that. I should have said, so far, how many chapters have you read?
Yeah, but I understood what you were saying, so
Yeah, yeah,
I knew
sleeping
what you
out.
meant.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah,
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've had fun having this chat with you. So
Yeah, I mean, I have lots of fun too. I really have had lots of fun today in this 2 hour, 42 minutes something time. And literally, my cheekbones are really hurting now because I've smiled so hard. Be it those, prom things or those Lucas pills or lots of things. I don't remember what we laughed. So this is the most laugh I've ever had on like a podcast recording with someone about
oh,
choices.
good,
Super fun.
good. I'm glad. Oh wow, yeah. No, I've had a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to reading other ones. And if you ever want to talk again, you just let me know, and I'll be happy to do it.
And if I, or for instance, if any of my viewers wants to watch your Twitch, those streams and for previous streams, so how can they watch it? So it's the Martian Cat, right? But
Yeah, so it's twitch.tv/Martiankat. It's Martiankat.
yeah, so I'll be linking it in the description box below in the comment section, and just share the link with me, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do that.
Yeah. And one thing, okay, so I'm gonna say something that you can't say no to.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, 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 all right. So come again to discuss about any particular book or any particular chapter, even or anything, because I really had so much fun discussing about just charts in general too. So yeah, it would be my pleasure to host you again.
Absolutely. I will totally do it. Yes.
Yeah, really, I mean it, man. I mean, it was really fun. We can do about a chapter even So if we are on the same page, like for we have finished it, then definitely we can go on air like this, and we can come here, we can talk, and then we can discuss about it. We can have fun because I
Yeah.
had yeah.
Good. I'm glad. But yeah, no,
Okay,
I had a
so
good time.
yeah, I hope I didn't take up much of your time today. And enjoy. Have a nice day ahead. And gotta go sleep. So yeah,
All right. Rest well. I'm gonna go and get ready to do my stream here.
yeah. The what?
I got a stream tonight that I'm doing.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, stream. Okay. Yeah, best of luck for that.
Yes. So rest well, and I guess we'll talk again soon, right?
Yeah, of course we will. How can you not? My tick boys were telling me, "Hey, I'm not hurt." Okay, okay, okay. Take care. Okay.
All
Stay
right.
safe.
See
Yeah.
see ya.
Bye. See you again soon. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.